My beloved child. There is a reason you arrived at this exact moment, and there is a reason your attention was pulled here before this day ends. Out of countless sounds, countless voices, and countless distractions, something guided your heart to stop here now, because a message meant for your spirit should not wait any longer. Do not rush away. Don't skip. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you, and what you hear now may settle a question that has quietly followed you for longer than you admit. Before tomorrow arrives, there is something important your soul needs to understand. Not every silence around you is empty, and not every delay means you have been forgotten. There are moments when heaven becomes quiet, not because nothing is happening, but because unseen arrangements are moving into place with such precision that words would only distract you from what is being prepared. You may have noticed that recently your thoughts have become deeper at unusual hours. Certain memories return without warning. Certain feelings rise suddenly, as if someone is trying to remind you of something you almost understood before. That is not accidental. Some things are being brought back before you because clarity often arrives disguised as reflection. Do not ignore how unusual this season has felt. A small detail changed. A familiar pattern shifted. A person behaved differently. A door that once looked closed now feels uncertain, as if something behind it is quietly moving. Stay attentive, because what appears ordinary tonight may reveal why so much around you has felt incomplete. There are people who see only the surface of your days, but they do not know how many silent battles you have crossed without applause. They do not know how many times you smiled while carrying questions too heavy to explain. Yet nothing has been unseen. Every moment you thought no one noticed your patience, your restraint, your effort to remain calm, those moments were counted. And now there is a turning point near enough that your spirit has already begun sensing it before your mind can explain it. This is why your attention feels pulled toward certain words, certain signs, certain moments of pause. Something within you knows that a change is closer than before. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Because before tomorrow, one truth must settle inside you: what has been delayed is not necessarily denied. Sometimes timing protects what your heart would have rushed toward too early. Sometimes waiting saves what would have been damaged by arriving before its proper hour. You have asked quietly, sometimes without words, why certain answers took so long. Why some efforts returned silence. Why certain hopes remained suspended as if time itself refused to move. But there are seasons when unseen protection looks exactly like delay, and only later does the heart understand what it was being shielded from. A detail you almost ignored recently may matter more than you think. A sentence someone spoke. A feeling you had when waking up. A sudden thought about someone you had not considered in days. These things often arrive softly before larger understanding appears. Listen carefully, not every closed expression from others means rejection. Not every distant voice means separation. Some people around you are carrying thoughts they have not yet found courage to reveal. Some conversations have already begun in silence long before words are spoken aloud. And while you wonder whether anything significant is approaching, movement is already beginning where you cannot yet see it. There are moments when what changes your direction begins quietly, almost too quietly to notice. A normal evening. A simple conversation. A small decision. Yet later you realize that was the exact point where everything started turning. This is why your spirit must remain calm tonight. Not fearful. Not impatient. Calm enough to recognize what arrives. Because tomorrow is not only another day on a calendar. For some hearts, tomorrow becomes the moment when confusion begins to separate from clarity. For some, tomorrow reveals why recent pressure felt heavier than usual. For some, tomorrow opens a thought, a word, a sign, or a realization that changes how the next chapter begins. And if your heart has recently felt unusually alert, unusually emotional, or unusually observant, there may be a reason your spirit is preparing before your eyes see what is coming. Something around you has been shifting quietly. A person may suddenly think of you in a way they have not admitted before. A delayed answer may begin moving. A hidden concern may finally become understandable. A burden you carried silently may begin losing its weight. But first, you must hear this clearly. Do not let fear interpret what patience is still revealing. Too many hearts leave early, moments before understanding arrives. Too many people walk away while the answer is already near enough to be recognized. So remain here. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Because something huge is waiting for you. There is also a reason certain old thoughts have returned lately. Sometimes what returns is not there to pull you backward. It returns so you can finally see it correctly before moving forward. What once confused you may now begin making sense from a higher view. You may soon notice that something which once looked lost was actually being repositioned. And when that understanding comes, you will realize why the quiet season could not last forever. Even now, while listening, some part of you feels that this message is touching a place words rarely reach. That feeling matters. That inner recognition matters. Because sometimes truth arrives not as noise, but as a deep stillness that suddenly says, "Pay attention." Tonight is not ordinary for everyone hearing this. For some, this is the final calm before a long-awaited shift. For some, this is confirmation that what felt uncertain is closer to answer than expected. For some, this is the reminder that unseen help has not stepped away, even when visible proof seemed absent. And if you feel that something inside you is becoming more alert right now, keep listening carefully, because the next moment may matter more than you think. A name, a thought, a memory, a direction, something may become clearer sooner than expected. But clarity belongs to those who remain attentive. So hold your attention here a little longer. Don't skip. Because before tomorrow arrives, something in your understanding is already beginning to change. Not every message arrives loudly. Some of the most important ones come in a quiet moment when your heart is finally still enough to hear what has been waiting for you all along. There is a reason this message continues now, because what you needed to hear could not be placed in only one moment. Some truths arrive in layers, and each layer reaches deeper than the one before it. If you are still here, then your spirit may already understand that something greater is unfolding than what appears on the surface. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. There are hours when life looks unchanged from the outside, yet inside unseen movement has already begun. Tonight may feel ordinary to others, but for you, something beneath the surface may already be rearranging. A thought you considered small may suddenly return with unusual strength. A person you believed distant may unexpectedly move into your awareness again. A sentence heard days ago may now begin to reveal meaning it did not carry before. This is how important moments often begin, not with noise, but with a quiet shift that almost escapes attention until everything becomes clear later. What matters now is that you do not dismiss what your heart has been sensing recently. You may have felt that something is close without being able to explain what it is. You may have noticed unusual calm one moment and deep questioning the next. That contrast is not meaningless. Sometimes clarity approaches by first making you aware that old confusion can no longer remain. Stay here carefully, because there is more. Not every person around you understands what is changing in your life right now. Some still see the version of you that belonged to an older chapter. They do not yet recognize how much your thoughts, your patience, and your perspective have grown in silence. And because of that, what is about to become visible may surprise even those who assumed nothing important was moving around you. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. There are moments when a single day carries more weight than expected, not because of what appears dramatic, but because one small event unlocks understanding that had been delayed for a long time. Tomorrow may carry one of those moments for you. A word, an encounter, a realization, a detail that suddenly connects many things you have quietly wondered about. You may soon understand why certain paths did not open earlier. You may soon understand why certain voices faded. You may soon understand why your heart was held in waiting while something else was being aligned beyond your view. And when that understanding arrives, what once looked uncertain may begin to look intentional. There is also something important you must remember. Not every silence from another person means absence. Sometimes people carry words they do not yet know how to release. Sometimes thoughts about you have existed longer than you realize, but timing has kept them hidden. That is why sudden changes often seem unexpected only because their beginning happened invisibly. A person may be closer to speaking than you imagine. A delayed response may already be forming. A closed expression may hide more thought than it shows. And while you wonder whether anything meaningful is near, unseen movement continues. Some of the strongest changes begin when everything still looks still. That is why this moment matters, because attention before clarity often determines whether a person recognizes what arrives. Stay attentive to details. A message may come differently than expected. A conversation may carry unusual depth. A familiar voice may sound different. A simple moment may hold more meaning than first appears. Don't skip, because many people leave too early and miss the exact sentence meant for them. There are also hearts listening right now that have nearly convinced themselves that nothing surprising can happen anymore. But sometimes the very season that looks quiet is the one carrying hidden preparation. A pause does not always mean emptiness. A slower season does not mean forgotten progress. A delayed answer does not mean no answer exists. Sometimes what takes longer arrives stronger because it was being prepared more carefully than you knew. And tonight, before tomorrow begins, your spirit is being reminded not to measure unseen movement by visible speed. Because some things move quietly until the exact moment they become undeniable. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. You may also notice that certain memories are appearing differently now. Not to pull you backward, but to show you how far your understanding has come. What once felt painful may now reveal wisdom. What once felt confusing may now appear necessary. This is important because sometimes clarity arrives only when your heart becomes ready to see old things without old fear. And once that happens, new doors are recognized differently too. A direction you once overlooked may now begin to stand out. A possibility you dismissed may return with new meaning. A connection you thought had ended may still carry unfinished truth. That is why this moment should not be treated casually. Because while others move through this evening unaware, some listeners are standing very near a shift they cannot yet fully name. If that includes you, then hold steady. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Because the next moment may explain why your spirit was guided here tonight before tomorrow arrives. Sometimes the most unforgettable turning points begin with a feeling that cannot yet be explained, as if your spirit recognizes a moment before your mind can give it words. What is happening now is deeper than simple listening. A quiet part of your heart may already be leaning forward because something in these words feels connected to what you have been sensing lately. That feeling matters. Many people ignore these moments, yet later they remember that this was where their understanding first began to change. So remain here carefully. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. There are seasons when everything around you appears unchanged, yet one unseen decision, one hidden movement, one delayed answer is already traveling toward the surface. The reason this message continues is because not everything important arrives at once. Some truths come piece by piece so your heart can fully receive them. You may have recently noticed that ordinary moments no longer feel entirely ordinary. A passing thought stays longer than expected. A memory appears without invitation. A certain name crosses your mind at unusual times. Even silence has begun to feel different, almost as if something behind it is preparing to speak. This is often how deeper change approaches, quietly first, then unmistakably. What many people fail to understand is that before clarity arrives, there is often a short period where everything feels suspended. During that time, nothing seems complete, yet many invisible pieces are already finding their place. If your recent days have felt like that, then do not assume nothing is happening. A still moment can carry hidden progress. A delayed sign can mean greater timing. A quiet evening can stand just before meaningful change. And what appears small tonight may become deeply important when tomorrow unfolds. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. There is also something you must hear clearly: not every unanswered question should create fear. Some questions remain open only because their answer is arriving through a direction you did not expect. That is why patience often feels uncomfortable just before understanding appears. You may have wondered why certain emotions became stronger recently. Why some thoughts returned after you believed they were settled. Why a particular concern or hope quietly returned to your attention. These moments often happen when your inner awareness is being prepared before visible confirmation arrives. A person may be thinking more deeply than they have shown. A situation may be softer than it appears from outside. A conversation not yet spoken may already exist in someone's heart. And timing may be closer than you believe. There are hidden beginnings that do not announce themselves immediately. They wait until the right second to become visible. That is why your attention tonight is important. Because what seems like a simple message may become the exact sentence you remember later when something suddenly makes sense. You may soon look back and realize this was the moment your heart was quietly prepared before an answer arrived. Stay attentive to details tomorrow. A small word may carry unusual weight. A simple encounter may feel unexpectedly significant. A thought may return with clarity instead of confusion. And something that once looked distant may feel closer than before. Don't skip, because some listeners leave too early and miss the part they were meant to hear most. There are also people listening now who have almost stopped expecting surprise. They have carried enough waiting that they learned how to appear calm while inwardly wondering whether anything meaningful is still approaching. But sometimes the very hour when expectation becomes quiet is the hour when movement begins. A silent chapter does not mean the story has stopped. A hidden process does not mean nothing is forming. A calm season does not mean there is no arrival ahead. Sometimes what is being prepared with care remains unseen until the exact moment it becomes undeniable. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. And there is another truth. What is meant for your peace often arrives differently than what fear predicted. Many times people imagine change will come loudly, but often the deepest moments arrive gently, through one clear realization that suddenly settles many restless thoughts at once. You may soon understand why certain doors stayed closed. You may soon understand why some voices faded. You may soon understand why your spirit kept feeling that something unfinished still remained ahead. Because not every chapter closes when it appears closed. Some chapters pause until the right moment returns. And when that moment comes, what once felt uncertain begins to look purposeful. So hold your attention here a little longer. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Because the next part may reveal why your heart was guided to remain until now, and why before tomorrow arrives, a quiet answer may already be moving closer than you think. There are moments when the heart suddenly becomes still, not because everything has been explained, but because something deeper begins to whisper that an answer is closer than it has ever been before. If you are still here, then perhaps you already feel that this message is not ordinary. Something inside you may be listening more carefully now than at the beginning, because certain words arrive at exactly the right time for the people who were meant to hear them. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Before tomorrow arrives, one more truth must settle inside you. What feels delayed can still be moving, even when there is no visible sign yet. Many people think nothing is happening simply because they cannot see movement, but some of the most important changes begin quietly, where no eyes can measure them. A person may already be reconsidering something connected to you. A situation may already be softer than it appeared yesterday. A thought that seemed distant may already be returning with new meaning. And while the outside remains calm, unseen preparation may already be taking shape. This is why some hearts suddenly feel unusual peace before understanding arrives. The spirit often senses movement before the mind can explain it. You may have noticed that your attention has become sharper recently. Certain little details now feel important. A passing word stays with you longer. A familiar memory returns with unusual clarity. Even ordinary silence sometimes feels as if it carries meaning. That is not accidental. Sometimes the quiet moments before change become more noticeable because your inner awareness is being invited to pay attention. Stay close to that awareness. Because tomorrow may carry a small detail that answers something larger than expected. A voice may sound different. A simple message may arrive with unusual timing. A thought you almost ignored may suddenly become clear. And something you believed was finished may reveal that it was only paused. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. There are listeners right now who have carried questions in silence, questions never fully spoken aloud, yet present in quiet moments. Why did that path slow down? Why did that connection become uncertain? Why did a certain answer not come when expected? Sometimes answers delay because they must arrive when your heart can receive them without confusion. Sometimes clarity waits until old fear loses its voice. Sometimes timing protects what would have been misunderstood earlier. That is why not every pause is empty. Some pauses are full of preparation. And tonight, before another day begins, you are being reminded not to judge unseen movement by visible silence. Because there are beginnings that do not announce themselves immediately. They appear first as small shifts. A calm feeling where there was tension. A return of hope where there was doubt. A quiet certainty where there had only been questions. These small things matter more than most people realize. Many major changes begin so gently that only attentive hearts recognize them. That is why your attention now matters. Because the next chapter in life often begins before anyone names it. A person may soon speak with greater honesty. A delayed thought may finally come forward. A quiet situation may begin opening in an unexpected way. And what seemed ordinary tonight may later be remembered as the evening before understanding arrived. Don't skip, because many people leave before hearing the exact sentence meant for them. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. And there is another thing you must remember: what is meant for peace usually enters quietly, not with pressure, but with clarity. It settles into the heart in a way that feels unmistakably different from fear. If something important approaches, it will not need confusion to prove itself. It will carry a calm recognition. It will bring understanding instead of unrest. It will make sense in a way that old uncertainty never could. That is why your spirit has been drawn here, to remain calm enough to notice what tomorrow may reveal. Some listeners will soon realize that what they feared was ending was actually being redirected. Some will realize that what looked distant was simply arriving slowly. Some will understand that silence had meaning they could not read earlier. And when that realization comes, many recent questions may suddenly feel lighter. So remain attentive. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Because the next part may explain why this message had to reach you before tomorrow, and why what appears quiet tonight may hold more meaning than anyone around you can yet see.